Obesity kills more Americans every year than AIDS, all cancers, and all accidents combined. What's worse is that the trend of obesity growth in children and adolescents is still on the incline. Data on obesity in children is collected by the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey. According to the survey, 17% of children are considered obese. This is up from 5% in the early 70s, 10% in the early 90s, and about 15% the last few years. Given these increases in obesity rates coupled with the increases in population, the number of children suffering from obesity has grown quite large. This growth makes the impact of health issues associated with obesity much larger in scale and impact. Children suffering from obesity are at a much higher risk of other health defects and diseases than healthier children of the same age. For one thing, obese children are at a greater risk of high blood pressure and high cholesterol. Both are risk factors for cardiovascular diseases. According to the Bogalusa Heart Study, 70% of obese children had at least one cardiovascular disease risk factor, while 39% had two or more. Obesity in children also increases their risk of glucose intolerance, insulin resistance, and type 2 diabetes. It can be attributed to breathing problems such as sleep apnea and asthma, and many cases of obese children have seen problems in joint function and musculoskeletal development. What's even more alarming is that obese children are more likely to become obese adults, and adult obesity is likely to be more severe. In addition to the countless health issues faced by obese children, there is a growing trend of psychological and social problems associated with the disease. A large part of childhood development revolves around their social interactions with their peers. A child's self-image is developed by comparing himself to his peers. It does not help that, especially in teenage years, weight issues become a target for bullying and discrimination. Our culture tends to look down upon those who are overweight, which in childhood can lead to issues of low self-esteem, self-worth, suppression, and loneliness. The bullying and discrimination only exacerbate the effects of depression, self-esteem issues, and isolation. It is also recorded that children with issues of low self-esteem and depression tend to carry them into adulthood, which can largely impact their success in social settings, job searches, and relationship building. So what can be done to help alleviate both the physical and psychological impact of childhood obesity? Well, first, we must identify the factors that lead to and increase the risk of obesity in children. A major impact on childhood obesity revolves around media and advertising. Kids especially like to follow trends to fit in, but a lot of trends in advertisement geared toward a younger crowd revolve around the consumption of high sugar foods and drinks with low nutritional value. Up until recently, it was unheard of to see commercials about consuming vegetables or lean proteins. It has always been fast food chains, snacks, and sugary drinks at the forefront of advertising. It is also unfortunate that these low nutritional foods are much more economical for low-income families. It's much more expensive to eat healthier because the additives that make food unhealthy are also what make it cheaper to produce. Along similar lines, in schools and cafeterias, the food provided is of low nutritional quality. Again, since it's cheaper, schools tend to lean more toward cheaper alternatives when purchasing cafeteria foods, but this means that they are compromising on the healthy options in a lot of areas. Because of all these pressures, the healthier foods and beverages are a much smaller portion of the market and therefore are less available, especially at an affordable price. Aside from food and drinks being unhealthy and packed with sugars and additives, there has also been a fall in childhood activity in the last couple of decades. As technology continues to develop, so do our entertainment options revolving around television, computers, and gaming platforms. These are especially appealing to children with countless cartoons, interactive games, and other such visually stimulating media. These things all pull kids away from activity, into the house, and onto the couch. In schools, the pressures to meet increasing educational standards has caused less availability for time allotted to physical activity. Outside of the classroom, especially in high population density areas, the facilities available for kids to play and to be active are continually diminishing or deteriorating. So what can be done? To address some of the many issues, one needs to begin with education. Educating not only the children, but the families, teachers, and social icons on the dangers and issues associated with the growing epidemic of childhood obesity. This education can lead to prevention by starting at the sources and working outward. There needs to be a shift in media attention, which recently has been noticed, away from so many unhealthy alternatives of food and beverage consumption. Schools need to provide healthy alternatives to, and even in place of, many of the items currently provided. Although many schools require a physical education course, they must also make participation mandatory while still maintaining a comfortable and enjoyable forum for participation. There are plenty of efforts being made, and there must be efforts to continue and increase the hard work to prevent childhood obesity. One such notable effort is the Let's Move campaign by Michelle Obama. The initiative promotes a healthy lifestyle by becoming more active and educating youth and families on how to make healthy lifestyle choices. Also, there are organizations out there to help repair and clean up public recreational facilities such as parks and fields. Even if one doesn't have the means to make an economical impact by donating money or volunteering, he or she can still do a part in educating and promoting about healthy lifestyle choices.